Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lahari, studying in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering from the Department of CSE Data Science. Today we are going to see about the subject waste management. The topic what we are going to see today is solid waste management system. The content what we are going to see today is first, meaning of solid waste management system, second, functional elements of solid waste management system, third, factors affecting solid waste management system. First, let's look into the meaning of solid waste management system. The waste generated from the human and animal activities that are normally solid and are discarded as useless are called as solid waste. Due to rapid increase in production and hence in consumption process, human society generates and rejects solid materials regularly from various sectors such as agriculture, commercial, domestic, industrial, institutional, etc. The urban solid waste generated from the domestic and commercial activities are called as municipal solid waste. It is estimated that at present India produces 42.0 million tons of municipal solid waste annually. Urban local bodies spend about rupees 500 to rupees 1500 per ton on solid waste management, of which 60 to 70% of the amount is for the collection of waste only, 20 to 30% on transportation, hardly limited fund is spent on the treatment and disposal of waste. Next, let's look into the classification of solid waste. First, source-based classification. Based on place or location of waste being generated, it is classified as follows: domestic or residential, industrial, commercial, institutional, construction and demolition, municipal waste, processing and manufacturing, and agriculture. Second, type-based classification. Based on composition or nature of the waste, it is classified as follows: garbage, ashes and residues, combustible and non-combustible waste, bulky waste, biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, dead animals, abandoned vehicles, construction and demolition waste, hazardous waste, and sewage waste. Third, let's look into the functional elements of solid waste management system. First, generation of solid waste. It is a result of natural, human and animal activities. Knowledge of generation of solid waste is important in the planning, designing and operation of solid waste management system. Generation has two aspects. One is the quality of solid waste and other is the quantity of solid waste. Quality includes the sources, types and typical composition of solid waste along with its properties, whereas the quantity represents the generation rates and total quantities and volumes of waste generated. Second, waste handling. Handling refers to activities associated with managing solid waste until they are placed in the container used for their storage before collection or returns to drop-off and recycling centers. The specific activities associated with handling waste materials at the source of generation will vary depending on the type of waste materials that are separated for reuse and recycling and the extent to which these materials are separated from the waste extreme. Depending on the type of collection services, handling may also be required to move the loaded containers to be collection point and to return the empty containers to the point where they are stored between collections. Third, waste storage. The first phase to manage solid waste is at home level. It requires temporary storage of refuse on the premises. The individual household or businessman has responsibility for on-site storage of solid waste. For individual homes, industries and other commercial centers, proper on-site storage of solid waste is the beginning of proper disposal, because unkept solid waste or simple dumps are source of flies, smells and other hazards. Fourth, collection. The term collection includes not only the gathering or pickupping up of solid waste from the various sources, but also loading of these wastes to the disposal site or transfer stations and unloading there. Fifth, transfer and transport. Transfer and transport refers to the meanings, facilities used to affect the transfer of waste from one location to another, usually more distant locations. Typically, the waste from relatively small collection vehicles are transferred to large vehicles and then transports to distant locations. Sixth, resource recovery and processing. Resource recovery is a partial solid disposal and reclamation process. It can be expected to achieve waste reduction in future landfills volume requirements. Source recovery must recognize what is worth recovering and the environmental benefits. Let's look into the third topic, that is factors affecting solid waste management system. First, quantities and characteristics of waste. The quantities of waste generated generally depends on the income level of a family, as higher income category tends to generate large quantity of waste compared to low income category. The quantity ranges from about 0.25 to 2.3 kg per person per day. One of the measure of waste composition is density, which ranges from 150 kg per meter cube to 600 kg per meter cube. The waste of high density reflects a relatively high proportion of organic matter and moisture and lower level of recycling. Second, climate and seasonal variations. There are regions in extreme north and south where temperatures are very low for much of the years. High temperature and humidity cause solid waste to decompose far more rapidly than they do in colder climates. The frequency of waste collection in high temperature and humid climates should therefore be higher than that in cold climates. In subtropical or desert climate, there is no significant variation in moisture content of waste due to low rainfall. Third, physical characteristics of an urban areas. In urban areas where the layout of streets and houses is such that access by vehicles is possible and door-to-door collection of solid waste is accepted. The condition is quite different in the inner and older cities areas where narrow lanes make service by vehicles difficult and impossible. Added to this, the problem of urban sprawl in the outskirts where population is growing at an alarming rate. Problems of solid waste storage and collection are most acute in such areas. Fourth, financial and foreign exchange constraints. Solid waste management accounts for sizable proportion of the budgets of municipal corporation. This is allocated for capital resource which go towards the purchase of equipments, vehicles, and fuel and labor costs. Typically, 10% to 40% of the revenues of municipalities are allocated to solid waste management. In region whereas wage rates are low, the aim is to optimize vehicle productivity. The unfavorable financial situation of some countries hinders purchase of equipments and vehicles, and this situation is further foreign by the acute storage or shortage of foreign exchange. In some regions, long-standing traditional precludes the institution of waste collection on the present of households and therefore influences the collection system. In other, where the tradition of caste persists, recruits to the labor force for streets cleaning and handling of waste must be drawn from certain sections of the population, while others will not consent to placing storage bins in their immediate vicinity. Social norms of a community more often than not override what may consider rational situation. Waste management should therefore be sensitive to such local patterns of living and consider these factors in planning, design, and operation. Sixth, management and technical resource. Solid waste management to be successful required a wide spectrum of workforce in keeping with the demands of the system. The best system for a region is one which makes full use of indigenous crafts and professional skills and ensures that training programmers to provide a self-sustaining supply of trained workforce. Thank you for watching this video.